What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. Thank you guys again for joining us for another live stream. I'm going to give it about a couple minutes or just 1 minute for our team for TechBot Solutions to start tuning in. If you guys don't know what TechBot Solutions is, we're over now 39,000 members worldwide, and the thing that we do best is we provide a free and simple platform for both new and experienced traders. Therefore, it allows people to start networking ideas without the risk of manipulation, and that's what TechBot Solutions is. So if you guys would like to be a part of it, the link is going to be down below, but stay tuned for this entire video because we're going to be talking about how to identify the best potential for stocks during pre-market hours. And again, with our group, we have 3 rules. We never trade based on anyone else's opinion. We never invest in stocks that we don't understand, and we always have a plan when investing. The importance of managing your risk, right? If you don't understand those 3 rules, then you might want to take a little bit more time to watch a series of our videos or just to simply learn a little bit more about stocks, because one of the most important things when it comes down to trading stocks has to be managing your risk and making sure that the potential for profit is greater than the potential for loss. If that still doesn't make sense to you, there's nothing wrong with that. I would just suggest to start paper trading before actually investing any real money. That's just a suggestion that I would have. But you, at the end of the day, do whatever it is that you guys see value in. I just want to make sure that we minimize, the amount of loss that people experience because we have a series of people that are making mistakes that are just simply sharing it within our TechBot Solutions Facebook group that you don't have to repeat them as well. So that's the whole point of this platform, to share your best practices and share your mistakes. I only have 12 minutes before the market opens. I'm going to start sharing my screen, and then we're going to get right to it. For those that are going to be asking, yes, I am using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. It is a free platform that you guys all have access to, and I do have a video on this specific topic. All you have to do is search for it. That's all you have to do. On YouTube, search Thinkorswim Ricky Gutierrez, which is my name. Any question that you have about stocks, search up the question and then put my name after it. I've probably made a video about it. So we called this one out yesterday. AMD has been having a consistent upward trend ever since the bounce at around 1150. It was more than 5 days ago. Wow. It was not more than 5 days ago. It was like 4 days ago. But it's been having a consistent upward trend. The reason that we called out yesterday to be more of a pullback, so yesterday played out exactly like we expected. I was like, oh, we're most likely, if you joined us for yesterday's live stream, I was like, you're most likely going to expect the pullback and the bounce at around 1280. Again, it ended up hitting lows of 1275. But 1280 was the actual support. The reason that I knew that was, let me zoom out. Again, it's just all about previous trends. And when it comes down to identifying this pullback, it had a previous support here at 1280 as well. So it just comes down to looking at previous trends. They most likely are going to repeat themselves, and then you wait for them to actually validate themselves. You don't just hope that they do. You wait for the bounce, you wait for the upward trend, and then once you see the potential, then it's up to you as the investor to justify it. I actually think it looks like it's still going strong. So AMD still looks like it's going strong. I thought it was going to kind of like flatline out and not actually pass like $13 to $13.20 because of the previous support that it had. It didn't really increase much in price yesterday. So I think today's kind of the make it or break it point for AMD. If it does well, then that's great. But if it doesn't, then just experience or expect somewhat of a pullback, and even further to not just the 1280 support, but maybe like 1240 to $12. The reason I say that is because when it struggles to break a resistance, a lot of sellers are just going to most likely give up and start locking in profit. So that's for AMD. I don't think it has enormous potential today, but again, that's just my opinion. You should be investing based on yours. JNUG is almost showing somewhat of a bounce. Do you guys see this? It's starting to flatline and almost starting to curve up. This is somewhat scary because a lot of our traders are trading JDST, and we called out the resistance at around 68 to 70, which is a previous resistance that it had before. We called out the bounce perfectly at $60, and I know a lot of traders have been locking in profits, and a lot of traders are following with a trailing stop loss. If you don't know what a trailing stop loss is, simply watch one of my newest helpful videos, and that will explain to you what it is. So it's now hitting a resistance at $65, and JNUG is now hitting a support at around what is this, 16.75. I think if it breaks above $17, that's actually where I'm going to set my alert. Then that would let me know that JNUG is in for a bounce and that it's actually heading back towards its resistance. And then JDST is most likely heading down. So JDST, if it breaks below, well, I don't want to say if it breaks below 65 because it's broken below 65 multiple times. No, I would say if it breaks below 65, then it's most likely on its way down. to the $60 support again. So make sure you lock in profits if you're up, and just wait for the break. There's either going to be, if it breaks above, what is this? It's been having a resistance here around 66.50 around there. If it breaks above 66.50 and you see it continue, move that trend up, because you can see right here that it used to be a previous support at around $67. So if we can break above that $67 mark, then that's most likely, showing signs of upward momentum, and that it's continuing the staircase up. I mean, don't be afraid. There's always this form of risk involved, and I want to make sure that you guys have the confidence to trade, but at your own pace. So again, this is just my opinion. It doesn't mean that this is an approach that you guys have to take, but an approach that I take, looking at JDST and JNUC. As you guys can see, those are gold-based ETFs that I continuously trade. And I don't even call them out sometimes, because I feel like people think I trade them too often, that they think that I'm overhyping them. And that's why I don't always share what it is that I'm trading. But the way that I do it is I pick one that shows more signs of potential, meaning that it's showing more signs of a bounce. And by doing that, I identify support, but because JDST or JNUG don't actually bounce at a flat support, they're kind of all over the place. Wherever the support is, I try to buy close to that, and wherever the support is, I manage my risk at 1%. Therefore, my potential for loss is 1%. I usually trade with $3,500. Therefore, it's $35, $45 after commissions, because I'm using the Fidelity platform to actually execute my trades. Now, if my potential for loss is 1%, what's my potential for profit? Well, if I'm taking a position, I want to make sure that I have a 5-in-1 ratio. Therefore, at least the potential for profit to be anywhere from like 4% to 5% to make that investment or that risk worth taking. If it's a risk worth taking and you know that your potential for loss is smaller than your potential for profit, then the risk might be worth taking. It doesn't mean that you should take every position just because it has that ratio. You obviously want to stick to the basics and make sure that you're buying at the support, making sure that you're buying when it's showing signs of upward momentum, and certain indicators that you find that are credible, then follow those. But understand that there's always this form of risk. And I think that's one of the biggest barriers that I saw a message yesterday by one of our traders within the Discord group chat. You guys were saying, or the trader was saying, it's like, I wish I would have jumped into all the stocks, because our group yesterday had an amazing day. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, the link is down below. I posted a couple of your guys' profits, as well as I posted, there are a couple posts on our Facebook group, and they're $1,000. Some were locking in like 2 to 3%, and that's huge. And some were locking in like 4 to 5% with a couple $1,000 accounts, and they're locking in thousands of dollars of profit. And it's because a lot of people are like, well, I wish I would have pulled the trigger on the stocks, because I saw the same potential, I just didn't pull the trigger. Understand that there's always this form of risk. I'm not here to motivate you to trade something that you're not comfortable with, but understand that there's always this form of risk. And if you're not comfortable with that, then maybe the stock market, isn't potentially the best market for you. But understand that there's always this form of risk. And the way that I try to treat it or overcome it is every time I take a position, I think of that figure, $35, right? Or $45, because it's after commissions, that I already kind of like, I'm already putting out the table. If it goes away, then it goes away, because I know that I'm going to, right as I get filled, I'm going to put my stop loss. And that's one of the most important things that I do, because I know regardless, that's all I want to lose. That's me managing my risk. But if it starts to show signs of upward momentum, then I can make the decision to remove that stop loss. And once I have a margin of already profit, I can put a stop loss or a trailing stop loss, because I use Fidelity. And I would be a little bit more comfortable, because at least I know I'm locking in some profit. So take your own approach when it comes to trading, but make sure you don't second guess yourself. There's always, plan out your trade, manage your risk. And then once you build the confidence on that specific plan that you have, then just go for it. If you have not built any confidence or don't understand what it is that I'm talking about, then try simulation trading. It's fake money. You can use it with TD Ameritrade, and you simply Google search TD Ameritrade paper trading for those that are going to ask, and sign up. And then with that, you can get your feet wet when it comes down to, actually making sure that you feel comfortable trading. And the best way to do it is, again, with no real monetary risk. And I 100% respect that. So that's why I think you guys should maybe potentially be paper trading. But I think everyone can vouch for that specific, even those that are experienced, and even those like, let me use, with all due respect, let's see where he's at. I don't know if Kettle Cooked is a member within our group, and he has been killing it, like thousands of dollars of profit every single day. And I'm sure he has a little bit more confidence than the average trader. But regardless, like, I'm sure he still second guesses himself. So I think he would be a great individual reach out to on how he builds a confidence to trade. If anything, I would love to make a video with him for him to be able to explain that. So if you guys see right now, JDST actually looks like it's now this one's bouncing. It broke the resistance that it had 66. It has had previous spikes, so I'm going to wait for the break at 66.50 before I make the decision to choose between JDST and JNUC, and it's as simple as that. So if I know that it broke above, you know, like 66, what's it called, 66, where is it, 66.50, it's most likely going to see somewhat of a pullback. But I think as long as we hold above 66, then that would be a good indicator. And I can manage my risk at the support of 66. Therefore, I can put a 1% stop loss around that 66 price point, which will allow me and give me, like, you know, around a 60-cent margin. Whoa. OCN, not really moving the way we wanted to. RAD didn't really have the margin or the spread that I thought was worth trading or worth taking. If you see yesterday from lows of 228, which has been a support that we've been calling out, to highs of 234. It's been kind of difficult to really see where it's been going because it obviously just isn't moving as much. It looks like now it's trying to move back up. It did have a resistance all day yesterday. So if you guys see right here, it did have a resistance all day yesterday here at 2050. So if anything, if you guys are up right now based on your purchase price yesterday on M, then I would consider putting a stop loss. That's just my opinion. Again, do whatever it is that you see value in. But the reason why is because if it drops below 2050, then it's most likely going to trend back down to the support here around, like, you know, 2020 and 2030. And I think there's no better approach than locking in profits and then just deciding to buy back in later. Let's go ahead and continue moving on. But yeah, I definitely still think that M shows a lot of potential because of the solid support that it has at $20. But I really think it needs to start breaking this resistance. And I'm going to wait for the break above 21 before I treat it as a swing trade. I day traded M yesterday twice, but the margin for profit was so small that it wasn't even, like, really worth my time. And I know a lot of you guys can you know, what's it called? I know that you guys can, shoot, Ricky, come on, think. Relate to that. There we go. So it bounced yesterday, SQ, at $24. I think this was one of the stocks that I called out that had potential for profit. The reason that I called this one out is because yesterday it had the resistance at 25. I called out the resistance at 25.20, but it bounced during pre-market hours at 24.75, which has been a previous support. So the supports are 24.75, then it's 24.50, 24.25, and then 24. Very common. Every 25 cents. That's actually pretty decent when it comes down to the potential for profit. We have 22 seconds left, team. Again, don't overwhelm yourself. There's so many options of stocks and so much potential everywhere. Ooh, SOR was actually the one that I called out because of the support that it had at $5 and the potential for profit that it had. So just so you guys know what most likely what I'm going to be focusing on today. It's SORL, and I'll put it in the description. It's SORL, SQ, and JDST. That does not mean that you have to trade any of those stocks. I want you guys to focus on what you see value in and just focus on that. And it's as simple as that. So I'm going to go live and start, or I am live. IDXG. People are calling out IDXG. I know it was a stock that was very overhyped yesterday. Again, guys, understand, you know, okay, it's on a downward trend right now. If you guys see it's having a pullback. Oh man, Ricky, you're not sharing your screen. You're sharing your ugly face. So it looks like during pre-market hours, it had an overall support at around 115. Ooh, M is breaking all the resistance. I like it. So it's pulling up right now. Understand that the resistance is at 1.25. Overall support is around 115. So if I were to take a position, and it looks like anyone who bought this stock yesterday should be up because, I mean, it had an overall resistance at 115, if you guys can see, and it broke that resistance, and it's now a new support. So just know that you are right now somewhat approaching the resistance here around 128 to, what is that, 125. And if it breaks below 115, guys, you most likely want to lock in profits. That's just my approach. You guys do what you guys see value in. There we go, there we go. And if it breaks this trend, if it breaks this support that it has, then we're most likely heading back down. Understand that it is way overhyped. Regardless of what you guys think about this company, understand that it all comes down to demand and volume. And once the volume dies out, so does the stock. Yeah, you guys could see that it has like random little spikes from time to time. And I mean, it hasn't had one in a while, but now it's having one right now for the past couple of days. Just understand the importance, guys. I can't stress that enough, of lock-in profits. There's always going to be so much more profit that you can make. I mean, don't let this specific trade discourage you by not locking in profit. So it looks like we're approaching the resistance at 125, and it definitely can break. So I'm not saying that it can't break this resistance. Based on its trends that it's been having, it definitely has the potential to break. But it just comes down to the importance of consistency. Are you happy with the profits that you made? Does it exceed your daily goal or your weekly goal? And if it does, lock in profits and get back in again if it's something that you see value in. But just know the importance of locking in profits. So M is going. I like it. So M is spiking up. Let's see. Boom. Has a resistance at 2070, as you guys can see right here. Boom. Can we continue going? We're going to see the first pullback. I really don't need to look at. There we go. Nice little pullback at 2070. And it's these pullbacks that are going to make a good entry point. So I'm waiting for the bounce. Looks like it's trying to hold, and it just broke that support, and it's heading down. If you guys could see, it's way above my displayed EMA line. So again, it's still showing signs of upward momentum. It doesn't mean that there's going to be a huge sell-off yet. Kind of flatlining. So it's up 1.97% so far, or 2.7 now. Boom. There we go. It's still wanting to bounce. I like that. I need to look at something real quick. Okay. All right. So it's had a previous like. It looks like it's having a solid bounce. Oh no, there it goes. It's dropping. There we go. There's the pullback. Very strong open for this one. It hasn't had an open this strong. And this is the pullback that we're going to be calling out. So this is where I'm going to take my position at the bounce. Let's see. Previous resistance was at 260, which will most likely become the new support. I'm going to wait for the bounce and then wait for it to break above 265. There we go. Approaching support. And it doesn't mean 100%, guys, that it's going to bounce. It just comes down to waiting for the bounce, waiting for it to validate the new support, which was an old resistance, and then waiting for the break above, small little resistance of 2065. There we go. And boom, nope, broke below the support. And that's why we wait for the validation. We don't just buy in at the support. Oh, there we go. Bounce, and this is where I'm going to take my position. Boom. All right, 160 shares at, let me see. I don't know how I do this without showing you my. If you guys are part of my TechBud Solutions group or the Facebook group or the Discord group chat, I'll post my screenshot of me getting filled. It's 160 shares at the average price of 2060, and we are up right now. So resistance at 2070 again, and it's experiencing a freaking crap. There we go. It's trying to hold. Overall support, which is an old resistance, is at 2050. Therefore, my risk involved is less than 0.5%, because I'm going to cut my losses here, and I'm going to set my stop loss as we speak. So give me one quick second, guys. And again, this is just where I'm going to set my stop loss at 2049. In no way does this mean that this is where you have to set your stop loss. So just calling that out. All right, we're good there. It's been holding above 2055 so far. There we go. It's starting to flatline. All right, I'm going to set my alert because I'm going to close out the live stream. I don't want to make it too long for all of you guys. I'll be sure to post, for those that are tuning in a little bit late, I'll be sure to post. There we go. I can still see the ticker symbol. So I'll be sure to post the ticker symbols that I'm going to be focusing on today. For those that want to kind of just recap, it's SORL, it was M, it was JDST, and then it was SQ as well. So I'm just going to be posting that. Those do not mean that those are stocks that you have to trade. It's just ones that I saw potential in, that I called out as part of my watch list yesterday. I do want to thank you guys all for joining. Man, there was something that I was supposed to tell you guys. Oh, there was something that me and the group were talking about yesterday in the group chat. I'm not too sure if all of you caught it, since it was just something that we talked about very briefly because of the offer that I made on the new investment property. So I'm not too sure if you guys saw yesterday's video on that. But pretty much what I wanted to let you guys know is, for those that did hear about it, I'm not going to be making a video about it publicly on YouTube. I'm going to be keeping it just kind of to the group, because if it comes down to looking for people to actually start out as, you know, investors in that specific venture that we're thinking about doing, then I don't want, you know, with all due respect, I just want our team to be a part of that. So I will keep the team up to date. I'll somewhat possibly make a video about it, but not directly. Kind of just talking about it. If you guys have interest in something that I see value in, then feel free to reach out to me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, all the links are down below. Feel free to, let me go ahead and, if you guys want to go check out the top, or the TechBud team. So we have Kyle, who leads the e-commerce or the mobile investment groups. Feel free to check him out. He just made his first video. He just made his second video as well about how he makes $5,000 a month reselling products. Brad is our OTC stock trader. Be sure to subscribe to him. And then we have Connor, who's our momentum trader. Be sure to subscribe to him. Oh, it looks like, am I going to get filled? Nope, not yet. I thought I got filled on M. No, but we're still up. Almost gonna be out. But overall, guys, thank you guys again so much for watching. I can't, thank you guys enough for everything it is that you guys do. I'm not too sure if I'm going to go live today or if I'm going to upload a video. Let me know in the comment section what you think it is that I should do. If you guys can give this video a thumbs up, we'd greatly appreciate it. And if you guys don't subscribe to us, that's 100% okay. Be sure to subscribe to our team, because without them, then, we wouldn't be able to make all this possible. So thank you again for everything that you guys do. Continue working hard. Continue only investing in what you see value in, and be open-minded, right? There's nothing wrong with being open-minded and hearing what other people have to say, but it comes down to you as an investor to be the final decision maker on what you invest in all markets, right? Because all markets have potential. It just comes down to your own approach on how you're going to succeed in that specific market. So just note that. So thank you guys again. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Oh, I did lower the amount of hours that I'm going to be available for the video calls for those that are interested. The link is down below. If you guys want to pitch an idea or just simply speak to me, then let me know. But there are only going to be 2 or 3 hours every other day that are going to be available. So appreciate everything it is that you guys do. Continue working hard. Continue doing what it is that you guys love. Let your passion be what drives your success. And like always, guys, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care.